Hey guys, Justin here, and today we're going to be discussing Bitcoin, or specifically what is Bitcoin's value, what is Bitcoin's real world utility. So let's get started. The first thing we need to cover is essentially what is, well, we're going to cover what money is, what sound money is. That's a good one. And then I guess I'll cover a couple key terms to figure out, what makes sound money, right? So essentially money is just a medium of exchange. If you were a shoemaker, right, and you wanted to buy a house and we didn't have money, you'd go to a guy, you go to a house, you go, I want to buy this house. You go, sir, I've got 9,000 pairs of shoes for you for this house. And he's going to go, what in the hell do I need 9,000 pairs of shoes for, right? So we need something as an intermediary, or now I can't think of what I said. Medium of exchange. We need something as a medium of exchange to help transactions and trades and those sort of things. So what makes for a good medium of exchange? Something that has a solid store of value, which means that it doesn't degrade or break down over time, so you can store it for generations. And then something that doesn't lose value over time. So I guess come up with a couple examples of these. So gold, I'll compare this a lot to gold, because we're going to do a lot of the gold standard versus the Bitcoin standard, and kind of there's a lot of ways you can see what sound money is through doing that. So gold was, didn't degrade, unlike other metals. Gold doesn't break down very easily, so it lasts a long time, and it didn't lose value over time. So as compared to the US dollar, which loses value all the time, pretty much every day. I don't think the US dollar really gains value, pretty much loses value. Anyway, the next thing is its fungibility or utility. So how many people have adopted it, how accepted it is globally, how easy it is to transfer, how easy it is to its scalability. That's a term that people use, as far as is it good for large purchases, is it good for small purchases. This guy's fine. Hello, sir. Look at that Prius. I lost my train of thought. I was too worried about the drift race car over there. Okay, so what's medium exchange, store of value? Oh, it's fungibility, utility, how easy it is, scalability, how easy it is to use. So one of the issues with gold was that, say you have a gold bar and you want to buy, well, we probably wouldn't, maybe buy a cup of coffee, I don't know. You want to buy a cup of coffee, you can't just hand someone a whole gold bar. You have to break the gold bar down into smaller pieces and then, trade that way. So that was a hurdle for gold, and what we did to solve this was paper money backed by gold. So we could say, you'd have smaller dollar bills or coins, change, etc. Much easier to buy your cup of coffee with than a gold bar. However, those paper notes were then backed by the gold itself, something that that was a good store of value. The problem we ran into with this system was that before my lifetime, probably before most of your lifetimes, World War I, leading into World War II, and then thereafter, we printed more money than gold we had. So we said that the money was backed by gold, but we really didn't have the gold, and we just kept printing money to fund wars, pretty much. And then we created a bubble. Obviously bubble pops, we went through recessions, etc. And then we printed more money to fix that, which makes a bigger bubble later on the road, but that's all right, we'll just ignore that. I guess now that we have a good idea of the history of money, well, we've used lots of things throughout history for money, but gold was probably the best thing that we've used compared to stones or seashells or whatever else. I guess now is an important time to... Oh, is that a train? He's gonna ruin my video. All right, hold on. Pause. Okay. So now, returning back to Bitcoin. We'll start at the very beginning, the creation of Bitcoin. So for those of you that remember, I was a little too old. I knew it happened, but I didn't really know much about what was going on. In 2008, we had a giant housing crisis, a bunch of bank bailouts, and remember how I talked about governments printing money? We had the government printing a bunch of money. right after this, right following, so 2000, the 2008 financial crisis happened. It was a global thing, but like the entire world, the global reserve currency is backed by the U.S. dollar. Um, so when things go bad here, they pretty much go bad for everybody in the world. If your reserve currency is backed by the dollar and the dollar inflates and we print too much money, then it becomes a problem for everybody. However, the 2008 crisis was also a big issue in Europe, as well as they did a bunch of stimulus spending as well. So Satoshi Nakamoto is this the anonymous creator of Bitcoin. I don't need to go. I'm not going to go too much into detail about this, but essentially, he saw this problem that his that the people needed sound money, and they could no longer, they couldn't trust. He didn't feel you could trust your government anymore, not to devalue your currency by over printing, which has been a issue throughout pretty much all of humankind. Anytime governments are in control of the monetary supply, they just print more to do things they want to do, which doesn't, like I said, that it doesn't work for the common man. If your currency is highly devalued, or you're living under hyperinflation or inflation, makes your life a whole lot more difficult than it needs to be. So he sees this problem, right, and creates Bitcoin, which is essentially a monetary medium of exchange that is decentralized. So it's not controlled by any central bank or treasury or government. It's entirely controlled by the people. So it doesn't need. It also doesn't need a central bank or a treasury or any mediary to verify transactions. So blockchain is the technology behind Bitcoin. I'm going to simplify this, but essentially a transaction enters the blockchain, right? So I want to send my money to my friend. The transaction enters the blockchain. Miners then solve very difficult hashing algorithms, which verify the transaction. The transaction is timestamped and added to the blockchain. The blockchain is essentially a giant public ledger of every transaction that's ever happened. And through that, we can see my wallet sent X amount of Bitcoin to whoever so-and-so's wallet. And this, therefore, eliminates the need for any bank or mediary or anyone to confirm it, as it's a public ledger. Everyone can see it. So let's see, what else can we mention about the history of Bitcoin and how Bitcoin started? I guess there's not anything else on that. Essentially, so now at this point there's a car back there. We're about a little over 10 years into the game, and Bitcoin's store of value, its security, its utility and fungibility, or I hit my phone's maximum recording time. So where was I? Okay, so Bitcoin over the last 10 years has kind of proven itself. It meets all those standards I talked about for the criteria for a good medium of exchange. The store of value, right? It's not going to degrade over time. It's digital. It doesn't lose value. There's a limited supply. So one of the big reasons why gold didn't lose its value is because gold is a rare metal and it's hard to mine. So essentially, there was no way to quickly, like we print money, right, and it devalues the currency. There's no easy, you can't print gold, right? You have to mine gold, and gold mining is very expensive and it's very hard to come by. Like, gold is a rare metal, so there's no easy way to quickly inflate the supply. Same is true for Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin has a limited supply of 21 million coins. Once they're all mined, in the year 2140, that's all the Bitcoin there'll ever be. Store value. Oh, it's utility and scalability. So at the time of the recording of this video, Bitcoin can pretty much be sent anywhere around the globe. The layer one is about it's like a 30-minute transaction time, and there's a decent transaction fee, like $1 to $3, depending on the transaction. Trying to think what else, but layer 2 solutions have solved this, and you can pretty much instantly send Bitcoin anywhere for like a fraction of a penny. So scalability and usability, it's accepted all over the world. You can send it all over the world. They've sent it to the moon. You can send Bitcoin wherever the fuck you want. So it meets all the criteria for a good medium of exchange. And what's really cool is we're seeing it used most heavily in countries like Nigeria, Sudan, El Salvador, Venezuela, countries where they are experiencing high levels of inflation, and it's because it gives them sound money. So with Bitcoin, say you live somewhere that doesn't have a stable currency, right? Or you live somewhere that doesn't have central banking or government IDs, or any of these sorts of things. You don't really have access to a store of value. You don't have a way, like, if you were a Venezuelan and you were stacking your either bolivars, their currency or whatever, you'd have warehouses full and it would still be worth nothing, essentially. Whereas with Bitcoin, this gives them the option, this gives them the opportunity really to store value. It's a utility for them to use for trade. It's sound money. They have, it's the first time in human history that everyone on the planet essentially has access to a sound money, or a good medium of exchange, a store of value. And I guess, let's see if I covered everything. What is Bitcoin's value? That was our key topic, right? Bitcoin's value is essentially that it's a decentralized peer-to-peer monetary medium of exchange. And because of the fact that it's been around for 10 plus years, and the security hasn't been broken, 10 plus years with zero downtime is pretty incredible. And let's see, I think that's it. I guess that's, and then for speculation, or what does the US dollar versus Bitcoin value go to? Who knows? Essentially, let's see. I guess I could figure out some quick numbers. So at 1 trillion, the global market cap of 1 trillion, Bitcoin was at like $50,000. So the global market cap of gold is 10 trillion, so 10 times that would put Bitcoin at like 500,000. The global market cap for the US dollar is 30 trillion, which would put Bitcoin at 1.5 million. If Bitcoin, this is gonna way far out, Bitcoin overtakes every currency in the world, that's like a $75 trillion market cap, which puts the value at 3.75 million. That's all kind of speculatory. So the future of Bitcoin right now, like I said, we're seeing, we've seen, I guess, because we've been through 10 years of this. We've seen governments try and ban it. We've seen all kinds of issues that a lot of hurdles, I guess, that Bitcoin is gone through and survived. And now we're seeing El Salvador. This is like a big reason to me posting this, not only because I feel like Bitcoin is important for everyone to kind of understand or know about, but because El Salvador just announced that they are accepting Bitcoin as a legal tender, and they are going to create their new financial system around Bitcoin as the base layer. And they're working very closely with a company called Strike, which they developed the Lightning network, which is a layer 2 solution to Bitcoin, which, that's what I was talking about, allows the transactions to be near instant and very low transaction fees, so that Bitcoin can be used as a an everyday, like, I don't have my Visa card on me, but I have a crypto Visa card, and essentially it works just like any other debit card, and I can swipe it everywhere, anywhere Visa is accepted. Works exactly the same as your regular debit card, except for instead of using US dollars, you're using crypto, and as soon as you make the purchase, it exchanges from crypto to US dollar and then makes the purchase. So yeah, I guess that's it. Bitcoin's value lies in its ability to be a medium of exchange used by anyone in the world. And it's the first time that in human history that everyone in the world gets equal opportunity access to a store of value, a store of wealth. I think it's probably a great thing for humanity. And I guess we'll just see, where what the future holds. All right, see you guys later.